right. Welcome to the Barber Shed, where we help you to navigate the ups and downs of the business behind the barber chair, helping you to transform burnout into a thriving success. My name is Michael Banks, otherwise known as the Hair Cutter on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else. I've been that name for years, and doing live streams like this have not been foreign, but I haven't done anything like this in a while. And it's just because I've been trying to figure out what is the best way to kind of approach this new life of regularly podcasting. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey more so because I am learning so much about not only the production side of podcasting, but more of the delivery, more of the intentionality that has to happen behind communicating in this way. And for those that know me, know that this is still like pretty new to see me in front of a camera, see me talking the way that I have been and making content in the way that I have been. Today is an impromptu. The reason why it's impromptu is because I came up with what I believe I want to present this morning. I originally was gonna wait to start everything in August, but now it's I just think it's just time to warm up, especially because there's a lot that I want to do in the month of August. August is a really big month. So August more so is a big month because it is also Black Business History Month, and I been rolling around with this idea in my mind for a while. The idea being that historically I've heard of this concept called gatekeepers, and gatekeepers have been known as those within certain industries that have access to get into certain avenues in certain industries, like the entertainment business or the movies, whatever it is. The gatekeepers kind of like know what to do, who to talk to, who to connect with, and and you kind of had to know somebody that knew somebody to be able to get into certain positions, a certain level of growth. And what I particularly took interest to was social media and internet, and how that's leveled the playing field for a lot of us. Is leveled the playing field so that we have a lot of access that we normally didn't have years ago with not only the internet, but now that to have the internet in our phones, and now with AI and all that, we have all the information of the world in our hands. Yet somehow we have this evolution of new gatekeepers, those that tell you that despite all the information that you have in your hand, that's not enough. That you have to know this, you have to know that, you have to have these many followers, you have to make content this way, you have to present this way, you have to talk this way, your content needs to be this long, it needs to sound this way, your brand colors need to be this way. All these speculations of what needs to happen, and and what I see is that has caused more stagnation in the growth of small businesses. I am in the service-based business. For the past 25 years, I've been behind the chair as a barber and a hairstylist. And I fell into that a lot, like feeling like I needed to be part of certain groups, be part of certain networks to be able to grow in the way that I wanted. And unfortunately, I took the route of kind of taking the back seat. I didn't pursue a lot of the things that I wanted to do for several reasons. I mean, there's not one reason in particular, but for several reasons that I don't necessarily have a regret for not pursuing everything that I wanted to do. The only thing that I do regret is not documenting and journaling everything that I was thinking through. Because I think that would be like really, really useful now to be able to go back and read a lot of my 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 thought process back then. I remember, but not necessarily in details like that. So I want to do a series called The New Gatekeeper, where I want to take everything that I do remember, that I remember from myself personally, and also from conversations from other entrepreneurs, other you know, even people in corporate America, like taking everything that I remember, and I want to attack all the different myths that we have in small businesses, particularly minority service-based businesses, and I wanna attack those myths and kind of give everybody a push to just go after what it is that you're trying to do. I'm taking a I'm taking a particular interest in product businesses. I wanna really empower product based businesses. Like one of my favorite, there's a couple of them that I really love, but one of my favorite businesses that really has inspired me as an entrepreneur has been this brand called Christian McHale. Christian McHale is a luxury uh, is a luxury brand that started off with a beer oil. This beer oil I got a chance to test out the very first time in 2009 at the Black Women's Expo. Got a chance to meet the owner. Really dope brother that ended up becoming a really good friend of mine. That still to this day we are locked in tight, and I'm able to bounce ideas off him and get support. And he's been very instrumental in me personally behind the scenes. But the reason why there's a particular focus on his business and his brand is because of the attention to detail, and to doing everything in excellence. Closely followed by another brand who I just came across, and I haven't got a chance to have his product inside my salon yet. But Kyle Brown from Stay Fresh has a product line called Ethos. Ethos is simple shampoo, condition, style, but it's really formulated for a guy by a guy. And the attention to detail in the way the product is developed is the first thing that I noticed. The quality of the product is the second thing that I noticed. Like just how my client's hair responded the first time that I used it, how simple it was, how clean it was, how fresh it smelled. Like it's perfect for the salon environment. After the and then classic, my homie Sam Lemire, he has an amazing product line. It's been out for years. His products I use in the salon, whether we're talking about the foam that we use to lay down the waves, or we're talking about the HD line enhancing spray, where you can spray and just kind of softly freeze the hair in place, so that when you're tapping your outlines out on your clients, everything is clean, smooth, and you don't have this buildup that you get from using regular spritz or even hairsprays. Those three product lines, I think influence the way that I think about products now, because of this one reason. Having exclusive and rare products that you can't go around and find everywhere, that I know have certain benefits, even more so than than the brands that you can find in the big box stores, give me and my business a unique advantage to offer the clients a more unique experience. With that being said, with that unique experience, that changes the conversation on the value of the service. And I want to do something special for service-based businesses as well as developers, to kind of come together in a small conversation to talk about how, in a collaborative effort, we can grow together and build a better experience for the clients that come in to our businesses. We'll talk more about that in August. Something else that I want to do. I'm going to do podcasts like this more regularly. I'm going to do more live streams. I'm going to do more live interviews. I've been doing them. The last week on Sunday, we brought in my sis, Ray Vees, who we come from the same neighborhood, but between me and her both, we got over 50 years of experience. In that 50 years of experience, now that she's in the position of as an educator at Tricosa University, we had a chance to kind of lay out some things for her students of what to expect after they finish school. Then on last Tuesday, we brought in Angel Jones from Golden Angel Management right here in Chicago, who we had a great conversation about overcoming the fear of sales. In our service-based business and product development, that's one thing that I see in common, that we don't want to come off as pushy and salesy. But one of the things that she pointed out in her podcast interview on last week was that when it all boils down to it, servicing is sales and sales is service. They're one and the same. The only reason you can't really truly sell somebody without servicing them first. So if you understand the needs of the clients and you really have something solid that solves a problem that is very specific to the client needs, you're selling. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing. You shouldn't feel bad about it at all. So I want to do more lives like that, and I want to bring in more people outside of the industry, outside of the, whether it's barbering or hairstyling. And I want to bring in more people to bring in another perspective to what we're doing. The month of August, I want to be really, really busy coming to you in this way to bring more value, so that when you listen to these podcasts, I want you to have a takeaway. I want you to have at least one takeaway that you say, I can implement this right away and I can grow my business, whether it's in income, whether it's in clients, or whether it's just in personal development. That's what I'm here to do. So, where do I want to go now? So, a lot of this, for the most part, I have to get even used to this. So it's like me, I'm putting myself out here first, hopefully to be an encouragement to all of you all. Hey, what's going on, Seiko? And see, I even have to get used to even seeing like the comments and stuff come up. I got to learn how to read all this. A lot of my favorite content creators like Seiko Woods have been on lives and stuff for years making content. I think even before he was doing lives regularly, he was on he was doing like broadcast radio show that was dope. I tuned in all the time, and I still do. I highly Seiko is like big bro to me, and even though he's not in the industry, he's not a barber, the content that he makes has been instrumental in my personal growth. Seiko, I thank you for stopping in and just, making a comment. Man, I appreciate you, brother. You are definitely in my top 5 favorite people on this side of heaven. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, take them back to the broadcast, man. Those were some really great days, which brings me to another point. I started making a lot more content around 2014, 2015, and over the years, I've been on this journey, like trying to find my voice, my unique voice, and what it is that I want to do. For me, where I'm at now, my primary focus on everything that I do is in the barber community. It's in the barber hairstyling community, and I want to be able to help the person that's like me. In 2014, 2015, I just got to a point where I was just accepted that life was just where it was. It wasn't going to get any better. Things things that I wanted to do just seemed out of reach. And in 2015, I got my first mentor, and that mentor reached out to me from a whole nother state. And although the information that he gave me, I didn't act on it right away. It took me nearly a whole year to move. That catapulted where I'm at today. So what I'm currently doing right now is I am a salon suite owner, and I work full time behind the chair, grooming clients, particularly doing barber services. But the direction and where I'm going and what's been happening over the years is that I've been really locked in into helping my clients build their personal brand. So I guess you can say I've become more of an image consultant with a primary focus on personal brand development. So I'm the hair person. However, I kind of, if you can't tell, like, I know how to do a lot of different things, right? I know how to work the camera. I know how to do video. I'm getting into audio and stuff now. I know story. I understand, because I work in a barbershop. I see how people interact with social media. I know exactly how people kind of respond to things. And I've learned over the years how to build a solid clientele without having to build a massive following on the internet. That is not necessary when you're in a service-based business. I can definitely show you how. If you want more information about that, send me a direct message. But to get to where we are today, that journey did come with a lot of ups and downs. And in those ups and downs, it inspired a post that I put up today. And in that post, for those that didn't see it, I'm gonna do a little bit of experimenting now. Bear with me a little bit. I'm gonna try to experiment just a little bit to see if I can show you all the posts. So in this post here,
I stop worrying how the story ends. I let go and I let God have his way. That's when things start happening. I stop looking at back then. I let go and I let God have his way. Let go, let God, let go.
So in that post there, hopefully you all heard that. Hopefully you all heard the post, or just was able to look at it. What I was inspired by and what I was doing was I was just kind of reflecting on what I learned like this month. And my two youngest kids, they share the same birthday. And I got a chance to hang out with them. We went to like a new environment. My sister and my niece came out, and I had a chance to just watch them. And I just saw how carefree they were. My two youngest, they saw like the wall climbing, and I just knew that they wasn't gonna take on that challenge, but they did. And to watch them go up this wall with all the resilience and persevering, pressing through how things got a little difficult halfway up the wall, but then they readjusted themselves and then they pushed their way up. It just made me just reflect. Like, I remember being that kid who would fall, scrape your knee, it hurt, and then you get up and you just keep on pushing. And then over the time as an adult, you get into business, you get in marriage and children, and things get hard, they get difficult, and you forget how to bounce back like how you once did. You forget that things get better. You forget that things don't stay the same. And watching my children and my niece just overcome obstacles in the place that we was at, it just inspired me that, man, I wanna go back to that place where, as life was happening, you just go with it and you make the best of it, man. My kids, I've seen them make toys out of boxes. I've seen them become very resourceful, and I just wanted to get back to that place where I don't get stuck, because I have to realize at the end of the day, I can't control any of those things that happen externally. But what I can control is how I respond, and how I choose to respond is to remember who's in control, and it's not me, it's the Lord. So now, with that being said, there's two things that I want to do before I wrap up. I want to actually make this a podcast, right? So let me get into the meat of potatoes. But I want to tell one story, and then two, I want to actually get into like the lessons. So those who have been following me for the past maybe couple of weeks, I talked myself into starting up a book club, and in this book club, I take stories and lessons that you learn from personal development books, and I'll show service-based providers of how to take those lessons and adapt those to service-based business. Sometimes we'll read stuff and it seems like it's more corporate-like, or it seems like more for a company when you have more employees, and it doesn't translate over easier. But I want to show you how to do it. So with that being said, what I've been doing also a lot of is going back to old children's books. And in those children's books, I want to take those brilliant ideas and thought processes from the authors like Dr. Seuss, which what we're going to do today. Stories like Jack and the Beanstalk was the first one that I did. Then one of the first books that we did in the book club was Who Moved My Cheese. And so those are books. You can watch Who Moved My Cheese in the Barbershed YouTube channel, and you can see that. If you don't see it, send me a DM, and I'll make sure it's available. If you want to join the book club on my Instagram channel, if you click the link in my bio, you'll see 3 channels. One of those channels is called Mike's Book Club. Now, here's the story. So as y'all know, and for those of y'all who are watching now or watching in the recast, let me know how I'm doing so far. I'm in new territory, but I'm doing it this way because one, I need to practice as a presenter, as a speaker, and then 2, I deal with more of my friends who always make excuses of personal limitations of why they can't do something. If y'all know me, y'all know that for years I stutter really, really, really bad, and I am I'm amazed at how, like, when I listen to myself, I'm like, man, is that me? Like, this is crazy. Thank you, Pieface. I see you in there. I love you so much. Okay, that's my sister, y'all. But if you ever hear me say Pieface, that's my baby sister. That's my heart. And I can't even call her baby sis no more, and sometimes she's more like big sis, like how she's just matured in such a way that she inspires me and she keeps me pushing. But I just wanted to just push forward and not give anybody more excuses of why they can't start something. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to put myself out here first. I'm in a, really, really vulnerable place. And it's in this place of vulnerability that I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth. So the story. So me talking in this way, this all started when I did a podcast with my boy, Jay Ruff. Jay Ruff is a Chicago barber known for a lot of competitions and stuff. And me and him became friends in 2016. It was actually July 11th, 2016. I went to go get a haircut before I went out of town to my first actual networking conference in a personal development and in business. And that's when we first met. And then he disappeared off social media. And then I seen him surface back up some months ago. So I put up a post, pretty much not giving him a choice. Like, dude, we got to connect. We got to get you on the podcast. From that podcast, that started a whole new level of a relationship between me and him, where we stayed like really, really connected, talking like a lot. So J Ruff is responsible for me talking so much right now. So I blame him. But we end up doing a networking event where he invited me out to do a podcast, and at this networking event, and in preparation from it, I would be listening to different stories from different people who were at some of the competitions that J Ruff used to do. And this one particular story caught my attention. It was the story of Haven the Groomer. Haven the Groomer, one of my guys, he holds the record for, and I believe that's 2014, of first barber in barber history in the Atlanta Bronner Brothers show for a perfect score. But the story that I know that's behind it, and I have to have J Ruff and Haven the Groomer come back on the show to actually tell the full story in detail, uninterrupted. It is hilarious. But there were certain details that I picked up when J Ruff was telling me the story early in the year. And then the morning of the networking event, me and Haven got a chance to have a great conversation. We should have been asleep, but we up having a great conversation. And Haven is solely responsible for how the podcast turned out because of our conversation. But it was something that he said that made me remember, wait a minute, I heard this before. And I couldn't quite put my finger where I heard it from before. It was something that I heard. It was from J Ruff, but it was so familiar to me. Anyway, long story short, to get to it, we get to the networking event. And if you know anything about setting up gear, I got to set up mics. I got to set up cameras. I got to set up the lighting. I got to get the position right. And then you got to do sound check. And then you got to test the frames and all that stuff. So I needed bodies at the table. And when I saw Mr. Kenny Williams from Silk and Classy Barber Academy, it dawned on me. That's where I remember all this stuff from. I know that J Ruff's connection to Haven had a lot to do with Mr. Williams. So I got Mr. Williams, I got Mr. Arthur Muhammad, I got J Ruff, and I got Haven to sit down at the table, because in my mind, I wanted to get them to talk so that I can get them to all see this connection between their stories. And I wanted to take a moment and an opportunity, because I knew it. I had a gut feeling that unknowingly Mr. Kenny Williams had a role. It was something that he did, something that he envisioned in his school that had a huge impact on J Ruff, that J Ruff passed on to Haven. Now, this whole video clip is on my YouTube channel, so you can watch that on the Barbershed YouTube channel. But here is a clip from like the last part of that, just so you can see like what it looks like.
I just knew it was his time. It was like seeing Jordan. Seriously, one of the best moments of my life. The Williams for sure.
Yeah, that's good. So even though I said this story is about you, it's focused on you. It's to bring out so that y'all can hear the impact that y'all had on generations to come. And I just wanted to take a moment to just thank you for the vision that you had for your school. Thank you for your patience that you had with students and how you poured into them. Thank you for your commitment.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank y'all. Really do.
Now, my favorite part in that, if you look at Haven's face, he's right here with the locks. Like, they didn't know how this was gonna play out. Mr. Williams was lost. He's trying to figure out why is he sitting here at this table. And I was trying not to laugh, because I know the direction that I wanted to go and I know what I wanted to bring out. but also Haven and J Ruff didn't know what was going on either. So that was one of my favorite podcast segments from the Elite Masters Network event. And so here we go with where I want to get to. If I'm doing good so far, if you can give me some hearts. I don't really know where everybody is from. I can see Facebook. Let me see, it's a comment. Let me see. So I see more comments from Facebook. I know this is also on YouTube, but as I get used to this, I'll be able to see where all my comments and stuff coming from. Jamal, thank you so much for being here. Again, baby sis, I appreciate you so much. So let's get to the story. We got about another less than 30 minutes. I want to try to make this good. So I got into this thing where I wanted to take these stories, particularly childhood stories, and I look at these authors, and the more I learn about the authors, the more I realize, man, these were brilliant men and women. I mean, but they were brilliant people who had really thought through the complexity of just living life. And I'm not necessarily just talking about from a spiritual perspective. Some of these are personal development. Some of these are in business. Some of these are in relationships. This is not solely locked into scripture, which would be my primary source and how I filter everything. However, some of these brilliant minds made children's stories. And when I read them over now as an adult, I can see that these authors took really, really complex ideas about life and change. And what they did was they took those complex ideas and they not dumbed them down, but simplified it in a way that a child can consume. So like I said, the very first one that I did was Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack and the Beanstalk was a story that had a lot of nuances in there that I was able to pull from it and be able to use in not only my personal development, but also in business. You can go back, you can watch that breakdown on my Instagram. I probably will put it up on YouTube, and maybe I'll put these type of stories in podcast form since I'm doing this today. But today's story is a story called "Oh, the Places You'll Go" by Dr. Seuss. And it's a fairly new story to me. I didn't grow up hearing this story at all. So it's new to me. But when I listened to it, it was like, man, this is pretty dope. This is not only is it pretty dope, but there's a lot of meat and potatoes in this. So I want you all to hear this really, really short version of this, "Oh, the Places We'll Go." And then I'll come back and I'll pull out I'll do the kind of the breakdown of everything that you can pull from this story and how to use it in business. Okay, here we go.
Dr. Seuss, as read by Paul Cuthbert. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there, in the wide open air. Out there things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up, You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to great heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right? Or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite? Or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind-maker-upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed I fear for a most useless place, the waiting place. For people just waiting, waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. With banner flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done. There are points to be scored. There are games to be won. And the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame. You'll be famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win, 'cause you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hacking cracks howl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore, and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact. And remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. The end.
All right, so I want to just jump right into this. So, like, I think reading is one of those things that will definitely separate the ones who get things done and get the needle moving in their business and those that stay stagnant. And what I mean by that is that there are going to be some people that they can't take reading like that. They can't take audiobooks. They can't, like, they don't see the correlation. This is corny. Let me log off. This is whack. We need people like you. You keep me in business. Thank you. Thank you for your lack of service to yourself and pouring back into yourself, because it is, I believe, reading and personal development and being able to grow your mind in the way that you think, being able to have enough information so that when life happens, because it's gonna happen, when life happens, it is one of those things that's going to be able to give you that bounce back that you need to get things moving, is the amount of information that you have in your mind to pull from. So if you didn't catch all that, if it's hard to sit in one setting to pick up on lessons, let me give you some themes to take from the book. Not in any particular order, but this is just kind of, what I pull from it, and I'll expound on it a little bit. If I'm doing okay so far, let me know. I'm going to go with the first one. One, taking responsibility. You are solely responsible for your business on so many different levels. Not just in like the day-to-day tasks, but you have to be the one to take the responsibilities to be able to examine what you need in your business to grow. And it's going to be you that has to take the responsibility to take action. You can't wait for anybody to get started for you. We out here already. A lot of us are full-grown adults and we have responsibilities, and nothing is going to get better until you take the steering wheel and start taking action and fully take responsibility, not just for the good that happens, but also for the times that you screw up. Embrace those screw ups, pick yourself up, and keep on pushing. Number 2, overcoming fear. You have to get to the point where you just accept that there's going to be things that you're afraid of. That next step, that investment in that class, that investment in that coaching, going to this conference, going to this networking event, scaling back, taking things off of your menu, opening up a studio, closing down a studio. Those are things that you're going to come across, and the move is scary because, like we learned from Who Moved My Cheese, sometimes we're like the character in Who Moved My Cheese, that the idea of the next step and finding new cheese, like we learned in that story, the fear is that what if things get worse? But we have to take on the mindset of, what if they don't? What if they get better? What if that next step in pushing past fear is the very thing that you need that's going to stretch your capacity for more? Now, I'm not talking about in one of those spiritual prosperity type of way. I mean, just you're able to take more clients. You're able to take more responsibilities in your business. You're able to grow and expand your business in a way. You're able to grow in a way where your business can handle you not being there, doing all the day-to-day tasks. Number 3, learning from failures. Sometimes we get so caught up in the fact that we fail that we spend so much time in that place that we don't even realize that a lot of times those failures happen solely to teach us lessons that we would not have otherwise learned had they not happened. Failure is not necessarily a bad thing. You're either winning or you're learning. You're either growing or you're learning. You don't look at failure as a defining moment in who you are as a person. No, it's something that happens, just like we learned in this story. Sometimes things are going well, and sometimes they won't. That was when the story bored me up until that point. When the author wrote that in there, that's when everything changed, and when my ears like perked up and I really started like listening into those themes. Number 4, being yourself. I can't emphasize this enough. Your marketing will get better if you're yourself. Your branding will get better if you're yourself. Your ability to build clienteles and not customers will grow if you learn to just be yourself and stop listening to those gatekeepers like we were talking about earlier, where they're telling you what you're supposed to be. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions about how you're supposed to present yourself online, how you're supposed to present yourself in business, how you're supposed to present yourself as a barber, how you're supposed to cut hair, how you're supposed to be a stylist, how you're supposed to be a photographer, how you're supposed to be a videographer. There's like, you have to do things this way. And while there are core things in business, and especially in the service-based business that are instrumental for growth, you have to learn how to decide which information is essential for business growth and which ones are preferences. It's you that when you decide to be yourself and be uniquely who you are, is when you're going to be able to connect to your tribe. It's going to be when you're able to connect with those people that rock with you and appreciate what you do when you learn how to be yourself. Number 5, perseverance. If I'm doing okay, give me some hearts, some thumbs, write me a comment. I appreciate every single one. I'm trying my best to look like I'm not getting distracted. I think I'm doing okay though. But okay, we have number 5, perseverance. This one here is a big one. It's inevitable in business, especially in service-based business. You are going to run into some obstacles where it is going to cause you to want to give up. There's going to be lost in partnerships. There's going to be lost in clientele. There's going to be times when you're sitting around doing nothing. You making posts and nobody's responding. They respond to all the jokes, but when you put up, hey, I got a sale, it's a ghost town. You have to be able to persevere past that. You have to get to the point where, again, you take the steps of learning to take responsibility. It is your responsibility to learn what moves people, what motivates people to buy in your unique business. You can't negate the responsibility of the business owner, but then also mope that things aren't moving. No, that's on you to do. That's solely on you to do. You can't like be lazy in one area and then expect everything else to balance itself out. And one of the things that will help you to persevere is when you know that you've done everything that you can do according to the business plan that you wrote out, and you're pushing through. A lot of times in that prep work, times where you have to persevere are already predicted. You already know that they're coming. So now push through it. Number 6, being open to new experiences. This one here makes me laugh now because this whole new thing and interacting in this way is a whole new experience for me. And even though I've been working on it a little bit over 4 years, it hasn't been 4 straight years, because I had to, going back to number 5, the ups and downs of life. Personal life, business causes me to not push out in the way that I want. So I had to persevere to get to the point that I realized that me solely embracing this new experience of communicating in this way, I actually really, really like it. I really enjoy it. And if it isn't evident now, I'm really enjoying this new me. I'm enjoying me discovering more about who I am and what it is that I actually like and what it is that I actually think has been lying dormant for years. And I like that what I've been able to do thus far in content making, and I'm just at the beginning, the messages that I get back, personal messages, especially those that know me personally and they leave me voicemails. Just to hear that it's inspiring you to take that next step. That's all I'm here for, and that's what I want to do. I want to encourage you that if I can put myself out here, you can too. And I'm out here in the water, and for those of you all who are rocking with me and see the growth, I'm letting you know that the water ain't that bad. You can come on out here. Number 7, handling success with humility. Now, I know for me, I remember years ago when I was a really, really cocky barber. I remember my first public failure happened right after I just trash talked about how I was going to kill this haircut. And man, oh man, did I kill that haircut. It was a sad death. And it was a humbling experience that if I would have allowed it to, it would have crippled my growth in that environment. I had to learn that, you know what? At that point in time, I wasn't as good as I thought. I don't even think I even recovered the haircut that bad. But that stuck with me. That lesson stuck with me, and I end up learning a lot about how to handle success and how to handle growth. But I also learned some really, really bad habits where you know, I hope that at the end of the day, when we deal with a level of success, I want two things to happen. One, I want you to realize that your today's success means nothing tomorrow. So enjoy it while it's happening. As you have a success, you got somebody that's booked a new appointment. You got somebody that's following you that you admire, and now they're following your work and they gave you a comment. You got somebody that gave you a $20 tip, $50 tip, $100 tip. Those things feel good, but tomorrow it's a whole new ball game. But while tomorrow is happening and things may not be going as well, remember the successes that you have proven that you have the ability to win. And if you just humble yourself, put your head down and get back to grinding, success in your business and consistent growth in your business is something that's repeatable. I hope that helps. Number 8, appreciating supportive relationships. Man, this is something that I am learning now. How to just take time, one, to accept that people are trying to help me. Take time to just reflect that there are more people in my life supporting me in this part of my journey than I've ever noticed ever before. I don't know if it's that they're supporting me now more than ever before, or I'm just now noticing it. But whatever it is, I appreciate every text. I appreciate every voicemail. I appreciate every Instagram post, repost, and I especially appreciate the group chats with my guys and the FaceTimes and you know, talking with my cousin and it's hanging out with my sister, being able to bond more with my mother and my father, and how the support that I'm getting from these relationships mean much more to me now than ever before. And I think it's the support of these relationships that are giving me not only the ability to push past obstacles that I face in learning to operate in this space, but it's giving me the motivation. It's giving me the motivation. It's giving me the drive. And I want to represent my circle, my community, my family, my mother and my father. I want to represent you all well. I want you all to be proud. Number 9, being patient. In business, you're going to start off with a vision of what you think your business is going to look like. And in business, you are going to start off with a vision of what it is that you want to do. You're going to start off with everything written out. If you actually written out a business plan, and you're going to be so excited. But sometimes things aren't going to really work out in the time frame in which you want it. And that's solely because there are some things that you have to learn along the way that's going to prepare you for that next step. And sometimes moving a little bit too fast in business is like jumping up a ladder. Eventually, you might lose your footing up under you, and you may come crashing down. And it's going to take you to be patient, plan, and it's going to take patience to really see your plan through. You got to make sure that you make a plan, but be patient enough to see it through. Be patient enough to reflect on the support that you're getting. Be patient enough to examine exactly what's going on, to see what you have control over versus the things that you don't have control over. In relationships, whether it's with customers, vendors, business partners, personal relationships, be patient. Patience is going to make growth sustainable. Patience is going to help you to have more understanding with people, so you're not triggered and you respond. Have patience in your business. Lastly, in this book, staying positive. I am naturally a half glass full type of a person, but sometimes it gets hard. You have to do things in business. You have to do things again, whether you're a barber, whether you're a stylist, suite owner, salon owner, barbershop owner, photographer, videographer, makeup artist, nail tech, whatever you are, you have to learn how to stay positive, learn how to do things that's going to keep you in the positive mindset. One of the things that I do is I make content. I've been making content for years. And a lot of the content that I make is solely for me, so that I can remember. So when I'm having a down moment, I can go back. I can go back a year ago. I can go back 2 years ago. I can go back 17 years ago. And I can see what I was doing. One of the things that really, really inspires me now, more than ever before we close out, is that in 2008, I had this vision of working in a small group team environment where it'd be me, a makeup artist, and a photographer. And we would take the clients, and the clients would be able to immediately go from the chair to getting wardrobe on and getting necessary makeup done to do photo shoots. That was the beginning of the idea. And to see that same vision that I had, even though at times I couldn't see it no more and I didn't see how it fit and work together, to see that that's now on my goal list to introduce towards the end of this year and really push forward in 2024, the original idea and the original mission of Art Gallery Image, my business. Along the way, I'm thankful that I made those pieces of content. I'm thankful that I left myself a little bit of reminders. I'm thankful for every conversation that I've had with friends and my peers in the industry that they shared with me, like, oh man, when you was doing this inspired me to do this, and when you was doing that, I got done. Like there are people who I know that I played a part in things that they're doing in their business, but to be able to experience that those people who I've helped before are now helping me now helps me to also stay positive. So some practical things that you can do to help yourself stay positive is 1, to journal and document everything. Number 2, build solid relationships. Pour into people because you may need it to come back. And then 2, write yourself a business plan. If the business plan was good in the beginning, all you have to do is just make adjustments. Build up your problem solving abilities along the way, and maintain a level of consistency. I believe that that's going to help you to stay positive. And more importantly, I can't believe let's put yourself in a group, put yourself in a surrounding, in a circle, build yourself up around people who will pour into you and to help you. Again, if you're the smartest person in the circle, you're in the wrong circle. So sometimes you need to take time to network and build relationships with new people. Man, I hope this is helpful. And if you finding it difficult to bond with like-minded individuals that can help build you and grow, I started a book club. A little shameless plug. I started a book club, and it's on my Instagram, and it's completely free. You know, it doesn't cost you anything like that. I'm still working out the kinks on the exact schedules because I still have to fit this in into like my schedule, but reading and learning is something I'm not forced to do any of this stuff. This is something that I do all the time anyway. I'm always going to do it. I'm always going to be involved in it. And so I'm trying to figure out exactly the groove of how to just get y'all to come hang out with me. And I know a lot of really dope people that do a lot of really great things that inspire me. So if you're looking for a circle to be involved in to help you grow, tap into my community. I'll introduce you to some of my friends. That's all I have for this book. Those are the big 10 nuggets that I was able to pull from this book. I hope it was helpful. If it was, man, send me some hearts, give me some thumbs up, whatever it may be. I can see a little bit of that stuff. I can't see it all. Those of you all who are watching in the replay, I definitely appreciate you all. Those who will be hearing this part in the audio broadcast, I appreciate you all, and we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I definitely this was a great experience doing it in this way. I hope it was for y'all, those who were here the whole time. I appreciate you all. Thank you. And we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I have an awkward closing because I didn't even build a scene, so it's gonna look like the beginning. But I'll see y'all next week.